I realized I had mentioned it, but I hadn't shown it to you. This is Lake Alma.
Displaying the glory of God's creation by exploring America one park at a time. Welcome to Parking Full Time with Big Dave, the parks professor.
Welcome back to Parking Full Time. I am Big Dave, the parks professor. We are at Lake Alma State Park. We are in southeast Ohio. The nearest town to here is Wellston, Ohio. We're a few miles northeast of Wellston. Today is Tuesday, October the 29th. And the temperature right now is a warm and sunny 74 degrees. It is a very warm day for late October. There are several trails at this park. The problem is none of the trails at this park form a loop. And so what we're going to do, we're starting at the North Trailhead. And as you saw, we're starting on the Old Pine Trail. And we're going to head up here into the hills above Lake Alma. And we're going to link together a few trails. We might go all the way to the South Trailhead. Or we might not. I'm not sure yet. Regardless, once we get enough of hiking in the hills, there is a road/bike path that goes right along the lake. And that's going to be how we get back to this trailhead. So that is the plan for today. A hike into the hills followed by a hike on a bike path. Let's get to it. We came over the first hill and walked through the campground. And that's looking back down through the campground that we just walked through right there. And we're now to the end of the Old Pine Trail, which means we're at the beginning of the next trail. Again, none of these trails here form loops. So you have to hike one and then the next and then the next and then find some way to get back to the trailhead. The second trail is the Sassafras Trail. The Old Pine Trail was marked in dark green paint blazes. This trail is marked in red paint blazes. And so we will start climbing the second hill on the Sassafras Trail. We're still working our way around the Sassafras Trail. We just came down that hill, and yes, that is the trail there. There's the third trail here. It's called the Acorn Trail. It's marked by brown blazes, and it goes that direction. There's a very steep section just ahead there. And I thought about doing the Acorn Trail, and honestly, I just decided I just didn't feel like doing that today. So what we're going to do, we're going to continue around the Sassafras Trail. This will very quickly take us down to the Park Road. Then we'll turn right on the Park Road, and that'll take us back to where we started to finish this hike. We finished the Sassafras Trail, and now we're doing the road walk back to the North Trailhead that I mentioned at the beginning. It's actually my car parked by the beach across the lake there. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but it's there. So we're almost back to where we started. I realized I'd mentioned it, but I hadn't shown it to you. This is Lake Alma. It's a small lake. It has kind of a U shape. And we're on the east end of the lake right now. I'll go ahead and do the outro here. This is a nice hike. The trails are very primitive, and they're also very steep. One of the things about hiking in this part of the country, most of the trails go straight up and down the hills. And the hills aren't that tall. They're only about 150 feet tall in this area. But if you have to go straight up 150 feet or straight down 150 feet, that makes for some pretty challenging hiking. But we did it. I also want to thank you for watching. Parking Full Time would not be anything without the people who watch. I realize that every day. And I heartily thank you every day. Also, again, I want to remind you that I took a vow many years ago not to take any monetary compensation for anything that I do for this project. That's the campground over there, by the way. And I have held to that vow. And so the only thing I get for doing any of these videos or writing any of these blog entries are your likes, your subscribes, your views, and your comments. And I do appreciate all of those things. So I'm going to close out this video from Lake Alma State Park in Southeast Ohio. I am Big Dave, the Parks Professor for Parking Full Time. Have a great afternoon, take care, and Lord bless.